Listen. I used to think that the earth was round, that it and life on it was somehow fixed, somehow eternally solid. I used to think that the reality of this earth was measurable, that the more complex my measurements, the more deep and absolute my understanding. I used to think that I was the product of random mutations, random selection and survival of the fittest. I used to think that to survive, to build beehives and castles, was what I had to aspire to. I used to think that progress in life was visible in the things I had to show for it, and that anything I could not build and then touch as proof belonged to the unreal world of dreams and imagination. I used to think that once achievements had been made, they were there to stay. How easily we delude ourselves about the firmness of our creations. I used to believe that the body was all that we had, that without it, we were nothing. And what could be more frightening than to become nothing? And in this fear, my doctor and his medicine became my God. Death and decay are part of growth and renewal. I knew that. I knew that nature was perfect in this eternal cycle. But what about the rest of me? That which speaks to you now? Why would nature create my feelings, dreams, aspirations, memories, if they too were not to be part of this eternal cycle? Why? I used to be afraid of this twilight zone between my outer world and my inner world, frightened of this transition into a reality where everything and anything became possible. I used to deny feelings of omnipresence, feelings of immortality, feelings of continuity, and banish them to the realm of imperfect longings and wishful thinking. How convenient only to accept what machines could give, to seek only what the body desired. But there finally came a time when I asked myself why I accepted the invisible dimensions of nature if they could only be highlighted by machines, while at the same time rejecting the invisible dimensions which could be perceived by the mind and its senses.
How many hundreds of thousands, million times did you try to
So I'm getting a quote of it. I thought that we could then discuss it further. What do you think? About the other contract. I thought of changing close 10. It's a bit over the top. You know that what I
How many hundreds of thousands, million times did you tread this path as a slave towards the great ocean?
think we got a call coming through here now.
Asian Paradise Radio. Few headaches on the region's roads, however. Storefront lines,
Hi, Jenny, it's Mum here. Just phoning to see how you are, and if, well, in fact, I had thought of popping by sometime today. So if you could let me know when you get back. I hope you're not hiding behind this machine. Anyway, speak to you later. Bye. Jenny, it's Marion here. How about getting together and having a chat? You know I'm always here, and well, I can imagine what you must be going through. So I hope you'll get in touch whenever you need me. I'm around tonight if you feel like a chat.
She has taken to looking at me when I was a young boy, as if my youthful face would reveal what my older face could not. I've been trying to reach her, trying to tell her that I'm still here, still close. Just like the sound that lingers in the wind long after being heard. I'm still here. I must seek out those through whose sensitivities I can make myself known.
Well, thoughts are living things. They're a living energy. I mean, you've got current going through, well, the machine. You've got currents going through the machine. You can't see the current, but it makes a living reality. And that's exactly the same with your thoughts. The power of thought is living, and every thought you have registers and it registers in the etheric, and it registers in the aura around you. We've fallen into the trap of believing if we can't see it, then it is nothing.
Mavis Pittilla is a medium. Since a serious acute illness some 22 years ago, she has been able to see and hear the spiritual presence of those who are deceased.
But I couldn't switch it off, so I was never a normal person. And we lost a lot of friends through it, and relatives who still disapprove because they didn't want to know. I'd become kind of that odd person. I'd become odd, a bit strange in the mind. And so I had to go somewhere where I could learn to understand it, what I was doing and what was happening. And that, first of all, took me in many directions until eventually I found a spiritualist church. And from there, then, I learnt that I have to cooperate, and it's a partnership. And then I learnt to develop it. If I could call it a power that builds up within you, and it's like an awakening, it's as if the power just builds, and suddenly there's an awakening, and the mind has gone forward. It just steps forward into a different vibration altogether. There's a different level of consciousness operating that's beyond the physical. You're acute, everything is very acute. Your fingers, your body, everything becomes lighter, because you don't only alter the mind, yourself alters. Everything to do with you alters and changes, and then you go into that state of consciousness which brings the telepathic link with the world of the spirit. So come on a journey with me, let's relax, and I'm a clairaudient medium, which means that basically I'm going to use the sound of a voice. So I won't be able to say I'm coming to you. I'm going to have to work with the world of the spirit, let them build the evidence, and what I need from you is for you to speak up. When I begin, there could be 4 or 5 of you accepting the evidence at the beginning. But when we have worked the evidence through and we have the great mosaic, then we will have just one person who will receive the contact. And of course, it is a good idea for it to be demonstrated this way, because it removes telepathy, doesn't it? It also says to people, well, we're not taking one piece of evidence and saying that that is the sum total. What we're doing is we're building the evidence. It's as if, they're writing you a letter. And as you're reading it, you'll be nodding your head saying, yes, that's right. Yes, I remember that. And it means that one individual will get a contact that will give them and will give the spirit world a bridge over which love may pass. And I felt as if I was being drawn to this side of the room. As I'm working, I know that there is a child in the spirit world as well, because they're talking, Mother and Nellie are taking care of a child that's gone to spirit world. But I feel that the mother is very upset on the earth, as if there's still thoughts about a child. Does that make sense, Joe? It's not linking. Give me a lovely no if I'm wrong.
There is a child gone to spirit, but it's in the past.
And there's a Nellie over there.
Yes.
Then is there a Bob as well?
Yes.
That's fine. Then if I'm correct, you also know someone that has lived... Have you had a connection to Station Road, or people that have been connected with stations or railways?
I have an uncle who worked on the railway.
Then you know Jim as well, then?
Yes.
Okay, because I know I've got to take you towards the railway and I have to mention a Jim.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now then, we have just missed an anniversary, I believe. Does that make sense, Joe?
Yes.
Because they keep saying to me they wanted to bring you memories for last month. Now we're in November now, so I've got to go back into last month.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Now I believe that you have an anniversary belonging to the earth, But I know there's also an anniversary of someone who passed to spirit world.
That's right.
So it's 2 anniversaries in 1 month.
That's
Does that
right.
make sense?
Yes.
I have a Richard here who I'm quite sure was known as Dick because that's what I'm being told.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now I just said to him, how did you die? And he said, well, I just dropped dead. Does that make sense? And really that's not very good evidence, is it? Because, you know, we all drop dead in the end, don't we? But would I be right to say that you have had connections where it's been very, very hilly, terraced houses, cobbled streets?
Yes, yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Then if that's correct, there must have been a connection to Taylor Street. Because I'm quite sure if you can find the people at Taylor Street, you're going to find me my person who just dropped dead. Okay?
Yes.
I feel as if there was pigeons, you say. Someone did have pigeons and would have had a pigeon cote in a backyard. This is not to do with an allotment, this is a backyard. Does that, I'm sure I'm with the lady in grey.
Yes, yeah, because my son kept pigeons in the backyard.
Did he?
He has them yet, but he has them on the...
But they were kept in a
they were
backyard.
kept in what used to be the old toilet.
That's fine. I'll tell you what I'm getting, you see. I even feel as if I can bring you a memory of a tin bath that went on a wall and the pigeons were at the side. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Then you know Auntie Annie who's died as well.
I do, yeah.
Because I've got Auntie Annie here and she keeps saying to me, I lived at 27 and they lived at 22. So people lived opposite sides of the road.
No, not the numbers.
27 was near the corner next door to the groceries and go in the opposite direction and you should find me a pub that
Yeah,
was on.
well, I know where that is, but it's not where I live.
Ah, but I just got these numbers to do with your Auntie Annie.
I see, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I got.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be rude, but I do know that those numbers were accurate because they were on the corner. And it was as if the family wanted to meet up, they had to come this way. And that's where they were. And I just felt as if you've been so unhappy and down.
Yes, I
You
have.
just don't know which way to turn
No.
because you don't know what advice to give anymore.
No.
You've got to the end of your tether. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? And I know I can go into December and I find other anniversaries as well.
That's right.
Because they keep talking about you not getting over one sad memory before you're into another. Does that make sense, darling?
Yes, it does, yeah.
And you're worrying about younger members of family that are on the earth.
Yes, I have been, yeah.
That makes sense to you, doesn't it? And I'm just to tell you that what you have said has been right. We know you're standing back and we stand with you. But we will keep a guardian angelship over the two of them until they've sorted things out.
Fine.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel as if there's a little boy on the earth that's going to bring you some upliftment. So I don't see this child moving away from you. I just feel that for the moment, you've just perhaps had to stand a little bit back.
Yeah.
Don't break your heart. Know that they're there.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. I want to bring you drivers as well. So there are drivers connected with you.
Do you mean driving cars?
Yes.
I've been learning to drive.
Have you really? Well, I don't know how well you're doing, darling, but I just know that they're watching over you. And I hope that that's right. May I leave you with that, and God bless. And if you can, just keep that positive approach, because I don't believe you've made errors. I hear your grandmother, who was like a mother to you. She was very much like your mother. And she just said to me, it's always what she does, you know, is blame herself first,
Yes, I do.
second and last. And yet I feel that the children must make their own decisions as they walk on.
Thank
Does
you.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can I just go next door but one? And could I just say, have you knowledge of a child that went to Spirit World? But I mean a small child.
Yes, but it was a long while ago.
Uh-huh. You don't know if there was some toys placed in that coffin, do you? Is that you, darling? I just knew that I got to move on. Okay. I got a child, you see, and I knew that the toys had been placed with them. Does that make sense? And they were put round the feet and towards the hands. Does that make sense? And I've gathered all these toys up and I've got them safe, and they're all different colours. And some of these toys were quite new. They weren't old toys, they were new toys. And I felt as if a mother just couldn't allow someone else to play with them. They just had to go because they were specially bought. Does that make sense? And I've got a very bright, lively, excitable personality here coming forward with the child. And as if you know, you must have known that child was going, because there were preparations that were made prior to the passing. Does that make sense?
More or less.
Yes, you know what I mean, don't you? Now it's ever so funny because I'm just being given an envelope here and a little card. There was a card placed in that coffin as well, wasn't there? And as I open it, I feel that this is a letter, and as if the child has taken a letter with it. Does that make any sense? And I feel that this letter was for God. I'm not sure about that because the child's too bright and lively to go too serious with me. Ah, that's better, because I got his granddad here. Okay, so he's lost a she's lost her granddad.
No.
Is that right? Because I got a granddad coming in here, and he says, yes, it was a letter. It wasn't addressed to anybody. It was just a letter that was popped down the side. Does that make sense? And if I could just say to you, don't worry about it. We look after her hair. I feel as if that should make sense to you. Does that make sense? And I've got brushes, and I've got combs, and I've got Alice bands, and I feel that I just want to give you a naturally, I mean, I know you've got a plan, but I feel there's natural hair here, and it's absolutely glorious. Very thick and glorious. May I just give you anniversaries for Christmas? Because I know that there are anniversaries for Christmas. And who's our John?
It's my son.
Is that your son? On the earth, I mean. Oh, that's good, because she just said to me, and will you send love to our John? Okay. And I know that we have a gentleman here in the world of the spirit who would have had a chest problem prior to his transition. I'd have to say, I feel as if I'm talking lungs. Not so much heart, but lungs. Does that make
Still
sense?
living.
Oh, no, Court, that you're having me unless it's gone since you arrived here. Sorry about that. And you link to the lady next to you at the wall.
That's my dad.
That's your dad. Oh, lovely, good. Well, I haven't got more than that for you, darling. So probably just because the child is so lively that your father came in. But I just must tell you that needed to be outside and still love being outside. But now I can use my spade. Do you remember my spade was always clean at the end? But in the early days it was always dirty. Does that make sense? Well, I can use my spade now, and you'd better stop fretting because it's not doing you a bit of good. And if we've got to make changes, then we will, and we'll overcome them. Does that make sense to you? Do try to take Christmas and let it heal you, because there's still a lot of sorrow there. And I feel that you have 3 people in the spirit world that loved Christmas. They didn't like a drink unless it was at home, but they liked family. Does that make sense? And I felt the 3 of them would be with you and help to just uplift you as Christmas comes in. So go in peace. Well, I am a cushion for the bereaved. I'm a philosopher for those who need. I'm a minister for those who need ministering onto. I'm the quiet ear for many. I'm a place where people can unburden. I'm really trying to be all things for all men. I can't say that I achieved that goal, but that really is what I should be doing as a medium. Margaret on the earth for you as well. Yes, you do. You know Margaret and you know Irene. Alf, have you lost your father? Yes. Because just as I was coming away and I've got that lady's father, I was coming away and I just heard, I was going to come away and come over here again, and this man said, oh, don't leave my Alf, all right. And I felt
He wouldn't usually refer to me as Alf.
Oh, well, I just don't leave Alf, all right, so I have to give it you as I got it. Okay.
I wonder if it is my father.
Well, can I just go on?
Yes?
I know that as I'm working with him, he's a black and white man, just like you. Dots his I's, crosses his T's. Very down to earth man.
Yes.
And has he been in the spirit world quite a while?
5 years.
Oh, I don't know whether I can let you have that then. Who's Bill?
Bill's my mother's brother.
Your mother's brother, who's gone to spirit world?
Yes.
And did you lose a lady that would have passed the spirit world with a cancer as well?
That would be Eva, yes, that's right.
Yes, and can you also place for me, please, someone who needed a wheelchair and walking sticks prior to their transition?
That would have been my father.
That would have been your father, then I'm right. I just had to link it right, because I just got him coming in, and I don't really feel that he wanted a wheelchair and he didn't want his crutches. Does that make sense? And he really was ready to go to spirit world. Does that make sense?
More than ready.
But he really kept his ideas a lot to himself. He was a quiet man.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And I'm quite sure it would have been difficult for you to get hold of him and give him a hug or to talk intimate details until the end. And then I feel you had a very good bonding with him.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Because he keeps saying he was grand. He was grand. Well, for evidence of survival, that's exactly as they must come, because other than that, the people on Earth wouldn't recognise them. It's like sometimes when a child comes, you can get a baby will come, just crawling, who went to the world of the spirit, and they'll say, I'll say, I've got a child here, and they died at this age. And I'll say that might have been 20 years ago. So actually, there isn't a child in the spirit in that way. The spirit world is a realm similar to this one. There are many states and many worlds. But if you're talking about the world that I make contact with, which is the state of consciousness after death, you're talking about a world very similar to this. What you must remember is you think that this is solid. It isn't really solid. Nothing's solid here. And in the next world, it's exactly the same. It is as you create. When we go to the spirit world, say we were to pass now at this moment, we would find ourselves in similar conditions in that arrival. The only difference would be that we would have greater minds, all our family would be there that had already left the earth. Only when we were ready to accept that we actually have changed our state of life would we then move on to another dimension or another thought pattern. It was just one sunny day, just like this afternoon, and I was sat at home, and I really was having a go at God, really. You know, I thought he was terrible to have done this to me. I was attacking him on every level, if you like. I'd got a son, I'd got a new husband, I'd got a new home. Everything was going fine, and then suddenly I was ill. I'd had the surgery first for a hysterectomy, which was very, very bad. And I just didn't pick up. And I didn't feel that I was a bad person. But if God judged people and doled out justice, then surely he'd found something very radically wrong in me to let me have this happiness and then want to take it away. This was my feeling and how I thought. And so I really was falling out with God. I really couldn't understand why. And then suddenly I saw a gentleman, and he just told me to go and find a healer or I wouldn't hear the New Year bells. Really, it was about 2 or 3 months after I'd seen the world of the spirit that the specialist actually told me what was wrong with me, because they couldn't find out what was actually wrong with me. So when I'd seen the spirit world, a few months later, the specialist said, "I know what's wrong now." The problem will be, when we get to the world of the spirit, is looking at ourselves and seeing how much we lacked growth, spiritual growth, while we were here. I think there's your problem. The problems that you will be facing is man's inhumanity to man, because you can hide here, you can cover up being inhuman to other people and failing other people. When you're in the world of the spirit, you can't hide from the truth anymore, so you have to look at your total self. If you hold a tree, you can feel the essence of a tree. You can literally feel the essence of a tree. And I know it may sound strange, but quite often when I was ill and I used to go to Almond I used to just lean on Almond and I used to feel as if I could feel the heartbeat of the earth from the tree.
Every tree, every plant and animal, every substance vibrates with life and has a life essence I call spirit. And if by living I do not prove the existence of this spirit, then who am I? What am I? A product of randomness, casually thrown together? Am I randomly chosen to live or to die?
Viewed symmetrically,
Am I a statistical entity
we have the two
to be exploited by the greedy and powerful?
temporal bones, which form the temples.
Am I a pile of molecules, muscles and organs, thrown together to create a hollow machine? At last, I know what she thinks and what she feels. And as she throws away the ashes of my body, is that really me? Here, it is easier for her to be touched by the grace of her God, through the normal senses of her body, through her feelings, her emotions, her sense of infinity. But what about here? How will she sense and feel and understand her place in infinity? If only I could reach her.
I love these ducks. They used to make my mother laugh. The last years, we'd feed the ducks, then go and walk in the woods. She loved the smell of the roses, the blackbird's song, and the trees. Yes, well, the trees in particular. She always said she wanted her ashes spreading out for the trees. And sometimes I think she's saying, "Thank you, darling. I'm still with you."
I wish I could make her hear me. I wish I could make her see me. I wish I could make her feel me.